Hi, welcome to the second part of the review for the LA90, the topping amp. Holy shit. So we're here in the speaker area, and I set this up tonight. It's nighttime. It's 2 in the morning, because that's when the best C reviews happen, and that's why I had to buy a house, middle of nowhere, so I could be like, Tower of God OSD? Yeah. Tower of God OSD. So, I'm not going to complete this, because I've only tried one pair of speakers. I brought out the Buchardt S300s. These are an old favorite. They don't even sell these anymore. They're now all about the 400s and the A500s, the A700s. But, like, holy fuck. I know I love these speakers. And I'm gonna play this off as about 50% of my holy fuck is from the speakers coming back and being in this space for the first time. And the other 50% is gonna be that amplifier is doing shit that I was just like amps. Like amps are okay. Like amps do amp things, and then, you know, it's amps, and some of them are better than others, and you could hear like little differences, and this is like a gargantuan leap. But I don't want to cement that until I change out to a few more speakers. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to listening to some shit. And then I'm gonna change it, and we're gonna see if this maintains, because this is some level right now. Whatever's in this amplifier, every company that makes amplifiers should buy one and steal whatever's inside of it, because you're not going to be able to beat it. I got to swap speakers, but I got to go to bed first, because now it's 2:22 a.m.
They're lifting small weight.
This is tape loader. Work that body.
Watch as a whole.
Okay, so wait. Mute that. So now swapping again. Buchardt's out. We've got the Aperion towers in. These are the 6Ts. Yeah. Oh my God. Review of those coming. So now, here's the thing. I've not heard these speakers in the basement. I've only heard them upstairs. And I haven't started playing with the pins you can swap out either. So I'm just a first assessment on these speakers, and I was like, oh my God, these speakers are excellent. We'll find out in the review of these in a couple days when I get around to it, because I'll end up plugging them into a not topping LA90 amplifier. In fact, I'll probably maybe swap them out for the 3.3 channel there. And if they sound remarkably worse, is that really the speaker's fault, or is the amplifier just that good? So I'm going to go to a couple more speakers that I absolutely know, and then we will. Where's my remote so I can change tracks? By the way, this is the Kisniver soundtrack that we're currently listening to. That's, yeah, okay. Rasmek, peace. Triangle anniversaries now. And it's weird. What did I power these with last time? Because they're not too clinical, but they're so clean. I almost think they don't work well on this amp. Like, I feel like they want tubes. I gotta roll the Toxidus devices. Greek amps out. Greek! They're from Greece! For these. That, I mean... no, you know, they still sound amazing on this. Like, it's just... There's like a depth. Exactly what I remember these speakers having, like the depth. By the way, that's a big ball. Links to the giant yoga ball footrest. This is my job. I feel guilty sometimes just sitting down here, like foot up, dicking around on my phone going, huh. Pearl Jam. I don't want to play too much of one song for you guys. Oh, did I not program that? Oh, new computer, by the way. In the time it took me to do the Buchardts to here, I've replaced a laptop with another computer and put the background on. It's working well, but it's still missing some features. Yeah, no, that's still... That's very much the sound I expect out of the Triangle 40th anniversaries. just depthy and clear, and that fucking tweeter, like that the reggae song. I think on most speakers I'm like annoyed by the treble because it's very like steel drum, like sharp, and this was nah. And these are some tweeters that might give you the if it's not right. And I'm gonna stop this now. I'll keep listening. Maybe I'll come back still with these because these are great. So yeah, I had to update the FLIRX software because it wouldn't connect. Yeah, no, these are. I turned that speaker. We moved some. They're good. They're fucking great. Which means that it's this amp. So actually, if you guys haven't watched the headphone review, you don't actually know what the amp looks like. This is what we're talking about here. Hi, waifu sticker. This is the LA90. So you've got 3 sets of XLR inputs that can also accept TRS or adapters to use RCA. You got your standard 5-way binding post. You got a big ass heavy power supply. This thing, which is what, 64 volts, 4 amps. And then you have 3 switches down here, and one of them is high-low gain, which if we... Did I put the remote down? Like an idiot. Never put the remote down. It was in my pocket. I didn't. I'm smart. Here we go. If we go like this, low gain, high gain. We can't keep playing that. It's anime soundtrack. The other one is stereo mono. You can run this in bridged mono, but if you run it in bridged mono, you get more power, but you're limited to only 8 ohm speakers. So what is the... These are 8 ohm. These could use it. Some speakers, I think the Bucharts are a lower 6-ish. I don't think I have anything that's actually truly 4, but I wouldn't run a 4 ohm load on a pair of these. Now, it's an $809.10 amplifier, so it's not cheap to run it in mono blocks, but I am... if you don't know how I'm running this, the third switch, so after you go high-low, mono stereo, so I can't run it in mono unless I run one speaker. The other switch is whether you want to use the volume control or have it be a fixed. I'm running it fixed currently, so this volume control does nothing because I'm using this other topping, waifu, D70S DAC, and I'm using just that to feed and control the signal. Now, the distortion numbers on this are excellent, like better than benchmark amps, right up to the point where you get to rated power or to where they say it ends. So if you're looking at 5 watts, which is most times listening to headphones when I had to plug the headphones or speakers, 5 watts is right around where you're playing, and it's 0.00009. It's like so many zeros. So better linearity than THX and benchmark amps. You go past 5 watts up to 50 watts at 8 ohms. So from 5 to 50, and that goes from 4 zeros to 1% distortion at 50 watts. You go past 50 watts, which you wouldn't be able to do sustainably unless you're killing yourself, up to 65 watts, which is the truly limited, like that's it, 65 watts at 8 ohms, 10% distortion. Don't let that scare you. You're never running at that high. Now, I'm within 5 decibels of the maximum amount of signal I can be sending this to front of these speakers. So I'm kind of nearing, like when this gets loud, and it's not really getting loud right now. I mean, it's getting loud. We're getting loud, but you got to remember, a lot of that is treble. A lot of that is tweeter yelling at me. There isn't like heavy bass. Heavy bass is when you get the pull from the amplifier. And that's when, if you're really kicking it, you might gain from 0.00009 distortion to 1. You might get up near that 1% line and not surpass it. And then if you're hammering it to the 65 mark, you're clipping something. You're clipping something, so it's gonna have distortion no matter what. So for, I'd say 97.3825% of the time, when you're running this amplifier on any speakers, even the towers weren't a problem. Those are hard to drive towers. They're not as easy. The bigger ones are easier. You're not getting anywhere near the distortion of even 1%. So you're getting that full fucking stupid advantage of 0.00009%. Polaris, great song, great band, Pete and Pete, Adventures of Pete and Pete. Release a DVD, whatever, season 3, I think they can't get. So yeah, it's a weird form factor if you're not using it on a desk, because like who the hell needs this little chunky boy amp in their living room or listening area Well, apparently fucking I do. This does get warm, by the way. Running it for headphones didn't warm it up. Running it for speakers for hours, you can feel it. This gets nice and nice, but this is like warm. This is like a keep a sandwich warm. So yeah, here's your 3 indicators. The only thing I wish this had was a remote, but then this would have to be motorized and it'd be over 1,000. Turning it off is a slight hold. Turning it on is a single press. Don't hold it to turn it on. If you'd hold it to turn it on, it won't turn on. You don't know how long I've been holding it. Like, is it on? No. Hold it to turn it off. Single press to turn it on. Single press to switch between the 3 inputs. That's literally how you drive this thing. If you want to use it in a living room scenario, you're going to need to control the source. DAC like this, there's tons of cheaper DACs just with remote controls. If your TV, for some reason, I would honestly get a decent DAC. If you're going to run something this linear and this clean, get a good DAC to feed it, and then control said DAC with said remote, so that you can just skip through. You don't have to touch the volume on that. Again, this doesn't have a 12-volt trigger, does it? Yes, it does. It does have a 12-volt trigger. I almost forgot. So here's the thing. That thing runs hot. How would I set that up? Because ideally, you don't want to get up after you're done watching TV or listening to music and then turn it off. A 12-volt trigger will do that for you. Can I set that up real quick for you? I don't even know if I have the wiring to do that. Oh, yeah, I actually do. Hold on a second. All right, so I just realized I have the Emotiva MC700, which is a surround sound processor that has a 12-volt trigger. In fact, I was using that 12-volt trigger to turn on and off the A3, which is Emotiva's 3-channel, big 3-channel amplifier. So the fact that this has a 12-volt in means only one thing. Topping is thinking ahead. Topping wants audiophiles to buy this. People who want to put the most linear amplifier possible in their surround sound. Some asshole, I would do it if I was a real asshole. Some assholes are going to buy 7 of these and run a stack that high of just heaters. And they're going to run every single channel in their surround sound with an individual monoblocked one of these. And it's going to sound amazing. And they're going to run 12-volt triggers that you can just wire them up to a bus, basically. So that here, I haven't tested it. I tested it, it went off. Let's see if it comes on, because it's currently off. 12-volt trigger plugged in. If I turn this unit on, wait, TV's gonna blink out because HDMI is running through it. Wait, boom, now it's on. So you can use a 12-volt trigger. One of the hacks I used to do is I used to get smart power strips, which they very rarely make anymore. Now they make smart power strips like your app can do it. They used to make ones that detected load, and when there was a main load, like your monitor turned on, everything else turned on, and when your monitor turned off and there was no load, everything else turned off. I have one of those, they're rare, but you would just get a 12-volt transformer, plug it in, and then wire up to a 3.5 millimeter mono, just cut it, twist it together, put some electrical tape, so that power on, or even 5-volt might work. Some of them are 5 to 12. This just says 12-volt trigger. Oh, I also, if you didn't notice, the speakers have changed, because there's no fucking way I'm doing the most linear, best, literally probably the best speaker amp I've reviewed without doing Micca RB42s. So let's have a seat and I'll have my first listen, first crack. I've got them up on the Kanto stands, the SX26s with sound rises. So do I have to lower the volume? I probably shouldn't. These should be the hardest thing this amp's had to drive yet. Oh my God, there's no volume. 3.5 from 0. 2 from 0.
Say a prayer for the cowgirl.
Holy shit.
Her horse ran away.
This is Rob Wasserman and Jennifer Warren's, thank you for highlighting that, Mouse, Ballad of the Runaway Horse. And it was labeled as one of the test tracks you use when you're setting up speakers. This is like the track, because a lot of songs, vocals aren't perfectly centered, they're a little bit off, and you don't notice it until you're like trying to arrange speakers. This has perfectly centered vocals and a constant droning bass note.
And she'll walk till she finds him.
So you use it to play speakers and then to listen for nulls and stuff. So if you want to look up Rob Wasserman and Jennifer Warren's, W-A-R-N-E-S, Ballad of the Runaway Horse, and I'm listening to this on like these speakers, And I'm at -2. I can max that DAC out and that thing. And let me skip forward a little bit because I'm going to try to fool the algorithm into not knowing what the fuck's going on. Don't blow up.
And the steam's coming off him.
All right, there's my distortion. I just clipped the amplifier. I took it right to 10%. So if you have $170 RB42s, you need to monoblock these $800 amplifiers.
He's huge and he's shy and he's stiff.
Yeah, if I'm 3 decibels down, no problem. Hit 0, it's 0. I just put on iHeartRadio. I hit the wrong fuck button. All right, hold on. Gotta listen to these for a little more.
Just like a bird without a feather.
That's what, Just Like a Bird Without a Feather from Samuel L. Jackson from Black Snake Moan. Okay, these have never sounded so good, and they've sounded real fucking good. So I'm at 5 decibels down on the DAC. So I'm keeping it away from that 0 point because every decibel is double the wattage. So if you keep it at a nice comfortable level under 0, or if you keep that knob not quite at the top, you're fine. You'll find the top, you'll hear it go crackly or distorted, and you turn it down a little bit and you accept it. These are super fucking inefficient. More efficient, more efficient, more efficient. Basically every speaker in my house is more efficient than these Miccas. But these Miccas are made of goddamn Gundanium magic. The colonies in space have engineered them to just be amazing. I don't know how they're so cheap. If you could, any amplifier you hook up to these, do it. More Kisniver. They're so soft and gentle and delicate. They're great. So this amp is just, it's probably the best sounding amplifier. I got my hands in my pockets. I'm just like, I guess it's the best sounding amplifier because everything I plug into it sounds like the best it's ever been. I even came around with the triangles. With those, I'm like, do I want this warmer? Do I want this like tubey? And I kind of maybe want a tubey, but I can't deny just the amount of that tweeter throwing just cleanliness. So I'm glad I brought this into 2 days worth because that thing deserves both days. The Wheat from Hans Zimmer. That sounds like a copyright strike, but this doesn't. And I'm not even, these are not in a great spot. Like, these are small little speakers and they're rear ported. So if you want a lot of low end, you'd put them closer, to a wall, which they're not. And they're still producing. So again, praising the speaker as much as the amp in this scenario. Let's switch this here. I'll max this out. And then I'll switch that third switch so that we're using the volume control here. And I'll put back on Epic Score, which should not get me copyright pulls, and we'll just pull this up. Oh my lord. All right, so much praise for all the participating speakers. Thank you, Buchardt. Thank you, Aperion. I'm about to say Ascend Acoustics. No. Thank you, Aperion Audio. Thank you, Triangle. Thank you. What else did I put on it? These? Anybody else? I think we're done. Anyway, thank you to Apos for sending that out. If they're interested in sending me maybe the silver one, I can do an AB with single versus monoblock. And then we'll see how it goes. But then I'd want one for my desk, so I really need 3 of them, so I don't have to fucking buy them. So maybe we'll just sell some stuff and buy a 2 or 3 or 5 or 7 of those. I want to put them in my home theater, but 7 of them. Links to that. Links to all the speakers I used. Links to that wallpaper in the wallpaper horde. I can't just link you wallpapers because YouTube will go, do you do direct link to pornography? And I'm like, it's Belfast. Leave my girl alone. All right? I don't even watch the game. I watched that show. I didn't play the game. Belfast, best girl. To get that in the horde, links to things, Patreon, subscribe, start see reviews early, participate in yard sales. There's gonna be a big yard sale, huge in August. I'm selling like, I'm clearing out half my basement. Well, I'm clearing out 8% of my basement, which is still a huge sale. But check out that in August. Participate in yard sale. Listen to Lost of Sound demos, which I'm not sound demoing this, but I probably will do a couple headphone sound demos with that for shits and giggles. And maybe I actually have to do a sound demo for whatever. $10 a month gets you in the behind the scenes private Telegram chat, along with a lifetime swap meet. So if you ever want to buy, sell, or trade gear, you can do it in there forever, even if you don't support me anymore. And then check out Hi-Fi Guides and the Hi-Fi Guides forums. And I'm done, and thank you. And we got to make these videos shorter because the algorithm's a piece of shit. It wants me to end it right now. It wants me to end it now. Now, algorithm? All right, algorithm, thanks.